When should you replace the shingles on your roof? That's a great question. The most popular type of shingles made of asphalt, and they have a sand granular type material on the surface. The two most popular styles of asphalt shingles are the older 3-tab shingles and the newer laminate, also known as architectural style shingles. The older 3-tab shingles are thinner and flimsier in design. They're cheaper to purchase, cheaper to install, and most manufacturers offer 20-year warranties on 3-tab shingles. Realistically, I think you should expect 15 years of life on 3-tab shingles. The newer, more becoming popular laminate shingles are thicker in design, yet they're also more expensive to purchase and install than 3-tab shingles. They, I think, look more superior because they have a 3D layered effect, and they remind me a lot of wood shaker style shingles. Laminate shingles, most manufacturers offer 30-year warranties, and I think you should expect 25 years of life out of them. Even though they've only been in the industry for about 10 years and we don't have any proven history, I think a 25-year period is a wise conservative number to start with. I replaced shingles for the first time on my detached garage that has a gable roof style design. I had older 3-tab shingles that were curling, buckling, and falling apart, and granulars were starting to fall off the shingles. That's pretty normal with asphalt shingles over time. I decided to go ahead and put in new laminate style shingles. Now, 7 years ago, laminate shingles were pretty new, and I took a risk at paying more money and installing them. It was, as I said, my first roofing install job. Thankfully, the boards and sheeting on my roof were fine in the garage, so I started to install the laminate shingles, and I learned pretty quickly through some trial and error at the very early stages of how to layer and install them and stagger them properly. And something I learned is that laminate shingles, also 3-tab shingles, typically have a thin strip of tar or adhesiveness that is tacky to the touch when you peel off the backing. And then when you install them and you hammer in the roofing nail, it allows for the shingles that are layered to connect to each other, and also for the roofing nail to seal and seat in the roof itself. That allows for waterproofing. Something that I learned is that when I installed the shingles initially, that it was very important for me to install them in the heat of the summer with a lot of sunlight. That allowed for the adhesiveness to be greatest. That tar started to melt, and then once the weather cooled down, they were adhered properly to each other and to the roof, and of course to the roofing nail. I'm really glad with the installation that I did. Even though it was my first time, 7 years later, my roof still looks great on my garage. I'd love to show you the roof. Unfortunately, it's covered in snow since we've had our first snowfall today. Something to keep in mind, and I talked about it briefly, is the effects of the elements on our asphalt shingles. We need to be mindful of snow, rain, cold, and heat, and wind. They all affect the life of our asphalt shingles. Something that's overlooked too is that a poorly insulated and poorly ventilated roof can cook your shingles from the inside out, dramatically shortening the lifespan of your asphalt shingles. So it's important to make sure that you do not have flimsy pieces of insulation blocking the soffits that can dramatically reduce the ventilation of your roof. And it's also important to make sure that the roof is properly insulated from the inside, so that way you have the best R value, in other words, efficiency, when it comes to insulating your house and heating it and cooling it. So that's your advice for real estate today. Thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.